In my newsletters and announcements here, I have mentioned the mark of the beast multiple times. And it is mentioned a lot by others as well, usually in connection with buying and selling, as is declared in Revelation 13, verse 17. However, there is a more sinister characteristic linked to the mark of the beast. It comes with worshipping the beast, showing one's unconditional allegiance, with the consequence of death upon failing. That allegiance is sealed by a permanent change in the DNA. It will cause the person to no longer be in the image of God, but after the image of the beast. Therefore, he is no longer human. Jesus died for man, and thus the consequence is that such a person is no longer redeemable. See Revelation 14 verses 9 and 10. This is why many students and teachers of end times Bible prophecy were so alarmed by the announcement, about 2 years ago, that all vaccines to fight the pandemic were to be mRNA vaccines. A new technology to be deployed on a mass scale for the first time ever. In the video The Cosmic War and the Human Genome, I speak about these things. See the link in the description of this video, as well as links to other resources. There I also show how through transfection foreign genetic material can be introduced into a cell. Revelation 16 verse 2 shows us also that there will be a very serious side effect of the mark of the beast. In order for the mark of the beast to fulfill its description as in the Bible, the different characteristics regarding payment and DNA change have to converge. And that is what we expect, and that is what we see. We can all understand that it will be a global cryptocurrency that will be tied into it. Cryptocurrencies rely on blockchain technology. That means that each transaction is encrypted and linked to the previous block in the chain. The encryption is done with a so-called private key. Each transaction is signed using the private key, which proves that the transaction hasn't been modified. The digital signature is generated through combining the private key with the data being sent in the transaction. And as the name suggests, the private key is to be kept secret, private. It is usually a code, a phrase, or a QR code. And it is what hackers are after. Preventing it from being stolen or lost is a challenge. Well, tech startup Nebula Genomics has launched blockchain-based DNA sequencing. That opens the way to other ideas, like that of BitMouse DAO, that has planned to put Bitcoin in mouse DNA by means of a genetically engineered virus. It's not difficult to get from this to using a unique DNA marker as a private crypto key, delivered not through a virus but through its vaccine. A key scannable through an implant, see Revelation 16 verse 16. Impossible to lose or copy. And if you think in spite of this that it's a far-fetched idea, you need to look no further than the patent filed by Microsoft. Enter Bill Gates, titled Cryptocurrency System Using Body Activity Data. Here it concerns cryptocurrency mining. Body activity collected by an implanted sensor is used to feed the cryptocurrency system. Curiously enough, the patent number is WO 2020-060606, or we could say World Order 2020-666. In my latest newsletter I also mentioned the EID, the European version of ID 2020, another Gates initiative embraced by the World Economic Forum. It will soon all come together in one convenient app, serving also as vaccination pass, carbon wallet and much more. It's clear that the technology and infrastructure for the mark of the beast is already here. We know from the Bible that its ultimate form will not be implemented until 3.5 years into the tribulation period. That means if that period starts this year, which is very likely, there are still 3.5 years to refine and roll out the system, which is sufficiently enough. Just think of how much the world has changed in only the past 2 years. The rapture could be this fall, even this month. Rabbis have declared the new year, starting September 27, a jubilee, and the coming 7 years a Shemitah, with much war and the arrival of the Messiah. We live in exciting times. Keep looking up, your redemption draws near.